Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Look, if you have at least a 600 credit score, I'm gonna tell you the best credit unions you can go to get a personal loan. Plus, with these credit unions, most of the time you're able to double dip, meaning that you would be able to take that same inquiry and you'll be able to actually apply for another product or two. Okay, so that being said, here's the key things that you need to understand about these here credit unions. All right, one is the DTI. Usually with most credit unions, they're very particular about your DTI. Usually if your DTI is over, let me raise up these windows, it's over 55%, you may have a challenge with getting a loan from them with a 600. However, I do have some other lenders that I'll tell you where to go to if your DTI is just too high for these type of lenders. All right, so that's number one. Number two is the income. The income matters, all right? Especially when you're trying to get loans up to over $25,000 or whatever, the income matters. Meaning that the minimum income you should have when you're trying to go after those type of loans, you want to have a minimum income of at least $35,000 annually or more, okay? So the reason is they look at, okay, if you're trying to get a $25,000 loan, you have to count it as usually for every $5,000 you borrow, they charge you $100. So then on a $25,000 loan, just not even looking at the interest rates, let's just say that the payment is going to be about $500. Okay, so with your interest rate, depending on your interest rate, especially if you add a 600, then you know that they're going to charge you a higher interest rate. So your higher interest rate probably can go up anywhere between 15 to 18%. All right, so then you probably be looking at maybe a payment about a $580 on a $25,000 loan. Okay, just giving you some insights in terms of what to expect. All right, so the income matters. All right, now also this is one of the bigger things when you're trying to get a personal loan from a credit union with a 600 credit score. One of the bigger things is what scoring model they use. Okay, so are they using a FICO 8 scoring model? Are they using a Vantage 3 or a Vantage 4 scoring model? Or are they using a FICO 9? All right, this is very important. And the reason it's important is because if they're using a FICO 8 scoring model, then if you've added like authorized users, and I always tell people the maximum amount of authorized users you want to add on to a credit file is 2. Don't go over that. It's not necessary. However, if you've added authorized users and you're trying to go after a loan from a credit union that uses a FICO 8 scoring model, they will not calculate that in. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Like with your Vantage 3, your Vantage 4, and your FICO 9 scoring models, they will accept it. If this makes sense, put a comment below, and if this is helpful, you know, type the word helpful. All right, that being said, adding to the authorized users, making sure they're the right type of authorized users also matter, because you want to make sure that authorized users history payment actually picks up. All authorized users history payment don't pick up. So you have certain ones that will pick up, certain ones that will not pick up. All right, so you have to be very careful with those authorized users. If you need help with those, you can type authorized users and we can schedule a one-on-one consultation for that. That being said, some of the credit unions that I would look at if I had a 600 credit score, okay, I'm hovering around a 600 credit score, then you have a credit union called KEMBA, K-E-M-B-A, Financial Credit Union. All right, they will give you a personal loan up to $50,000, all right, with a 600 credit score. All right, so that's the first one. Then of course many of us, Navy Federal. Now here's the thing about it with Navy Federal. Navy Federal is very finicky because people with an 800 credit score, they may not give them a loan, but a person with a 600 credit score that has a long history with them, with a direct deposit, multiple accounts and stuff, they're willing to give them a loan, okay? So in terms of their debt to income ratio still matters. Now the internal score with Navy Federal does not matter. So you can have 100 up to 450 internal score. Even a pledge loan with Navy Federal does not matter when it comes to their personal loans, okay? So that's something that most people misunderstand about having pledge loans, because they'll try to get multiple pledge loans. I don't care. The pledge loans does not affect the way that Navy Federal looks at you when you're trying to get a personal loan. This is very important, so that way you won't be wasting an opportunity. However, that pledge loan will help you get a $25,000 credit card, okay? And then you can actually take that $25,000 credit card and you can get a prepaid debit card with Navy Federal and transfer the balance of that credit card over to that. Yes, it will increase your debt to income ratio. However, by you transferring that credit card balance over to the debit card, now you have access to capital that you can use freely, right? So that's an option for you as well if you really need to get access to the money. So that's another leverage way that you can use it, all right? The other way, you can sign up with Plastic or Melio, and then you may have vendors and stuff like that that you can pay bills with, and they would actually send out a check from the credit card and you can liquidate the card from that, all right? Now, another one is Spectrum Credit Union, all right? With a 600 credit score, they will give you a personal loan, all right, as well. So Spectrum Credit Union, and they are a FICO 9 scoring system as well. Navy Federal is a FICO 9 scoring system also. Then you have another credit union, which is PHFCU. So PH Federal Credit Union. If you have a 600 credit score, they will also give you a personal loan. Now, there is a credit union out there. Let's just say that you're trying to get up to $10,000. You need $10,000. This is what you can do. You can look for loans that do not report on the personal credit. Okay, so then those type of loans, they're going to come from platforms like Low Credit Finance that offer loans up to $50,000. Interest rates is 5.99 up to 35.99. All right, since this loan does not report, if they give you $5,000, even if they just give you $5,000, there's a credit union called Metro Credit Union. Okay, they have a thing that's called a Prosperity Builder. All right, and so what it does, it's whatever amount you deposit into that Prosperity Builder account, they will double it. So if you put $5,000 in it, then you're able to use up to $10,000. Okay, that's a Metro Credit Union. You should be able to check them out. I think they're a good opportunity for those that's able to join. All right, then another one, it's the United Nations Federal Credit Union with their installment loan. Now, why theirs is so important is, like, let's just say you go to Viva Payday Loan, okay? Viva Payday Loan, they offer loans up to $5,000, interest rates 5.99 up to 35.99. So they give you the max, right? So let's just say they give you that $5,000 max, all right? So with that $5,000 max, and it's not going to report on your personal credit, if you go over to United Nations Federal Credit Union, you put that $5,000 into their secured loan, okay, and this is also going to add a positive trade line to the credit, then you're able to use 150% of that. So that means that your $5,000 turns into $7,500. Okay, so I'm just giving you some backdoor strategies in order to get some money. Other ways for you to get a 0% interest loan. If you're working a job, then the best thing you want to do is be able to go to your HR and file your W-4. File your tax exempt for 3 to 4 months, and that way they'll stop taking federal income taxes out of your check, and you can actually use that money to pay down some of your debt, and that's 0 interest on a loan. Okay, so I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.